video, I'm going to be sharing a couple of beauty tips that I just genuinely cannot live without. These are either techniques or products that I've integrated into my life that have just made things look better. The best that they've ever looked out of everything that I've ever tried. So if you guys are interested, just keep watching. This is something that I use every single day that I apply liquid eyeliner, which is almost every time that I apply makeup. I love liquid eyeliner, and it is my little cleanup method that I use. I talked about this in my recent Get Ready With Me, which I'll link in the description, because I show you guys almost every method that I'm going to talk about in this video in action in my recent Get Ready With Me. So all I do is clean up the end of my wing after I have applied all of my makeup using the Lancome. Everything has worn off, so I can't even read the name, but it's their makeup remover. This is just a travel size. And this little detailer brush by Real Techniques. I use this little method every single time. There's like no going back for me. The ends just come out so sharp, and you can mess up. You know, you don't have to like perfect your wing from the beginning because you have a backup plan. There have been times that my liquid eyeliner does not look bad. Like, it does not look like it needs any cleaning. My wings are sharp, and I still go in with this because I just love the way that it looks. This next little technique I got from Katie Jane Hughes. She is just like my makeup guru, inspiration. I love everything that she does. Her skin is amazing. Her makeup always comes out flawless. Very up my alley in terms of makeup. So she's very much about using like her own skin and showing her pores and not overdoing her base. So applying moisturizer to the outer perimeter of my face instead of going in and applying it everywhere like I used to has changed the game for me. It not only makes my cheekbones very dewy from the beginning, like I barely have to really apply highlight, even though I do either way, but it just makes like the driest parts of my face dewy looking, which is all I want in life. So I go in, I get a little bit. This is the moisturizer that I've been using lately. It's the Charlotte Magic Cream. So I just go in the outer perimeter of my face, and then with whatever's left, I go into the middle of my face. My skin just looks so much better after I've learned all of these techniques and have applied them to like my makeup routine. The moisturizer is very good, but I'm talking about the technique in general. This next little tip or technique is probably, I think, my favorite out of the bunch. Again, this is something that Katie Jane Hughes recommended. She uses the Glossier Stretch Concealer as a tinted moisturizer, or as a like BB cream, whatever you want to call it. She uses it as her base. I applied this with a synthetic brush. This is the one I use by Sedona Lace. Has no numbers on it. Very old. I don't remember the name of this, but you can go in with any synthetic brush and use this little guy as your base. And this is the best thing I have ever used as a base in my life. And without a doubt, 100% like guaranteed, for sure, the best thing I've ever used on my face in my life. The reason why I feel like it looks the best on my skin is because I do not have to apply it to my entire face, and I do not have to apply a lot of it. So obviously, the less you're applying to your skin, the better, you know, it's going to wear, because you're not caking products onto your skin. So I suffered with smile lines. I no longer suffer with that. My smile lines do not look cakey at the end of the day because I do not apply anything to this area. And even though this does apply a lot of coverage, it is a concealer, the consistency of it just melts into your skin. So even if you're not applying it to your entire face, it still looks very seamless, which is crazy. I have never come across another formula that doesn't look patchy after you do that. You know, this kind of just blends into the moisturizer that I applied beforehand, and there's no like line of demarcation. Granted, I do go in at the end with a beauty blender and I blend everything out, but even then, like, you cannot see where I applied the concealer and where I didn't, you know. So I use this as my base, and it provides coverage. So even if you are somebody that has acne and you have things that need to be covered, I really do think this is going to work for you. The only way that I don't know if this will work for you is if you have very oily skin, because it does make your skin a little bit dewy, but I prefer that because I have drier skin. So I've mentioned it before that I struggle with my eyelashes holding a curl. My eyelashes are long, but they have never held a curl. And honestly, I never really took my time to curl my lashes. So the first tip that I have is actually taking the time to curl your lashes. If you're somebody that struggles with your mascara not really like holding enough of a curl, your eyelashes just want to straighten out throughout the day, you know, they're too heavy or they're too straight, whatever it is, I really cannot stress the fact that you not only have to like go in there and curl once or twice, you have to sit there and you have to curl your lashes, okay? Because the more you curl, the more of a chance that that curl is gonna hold. So I've counted, and I actually go in and pump this like 12 times on one eyelash, 12 times on the other, and then like 10 and 10 or something like that. Until I feel like my eyelashes are curled very well. It doesn't matter if the curl looks a little crazy at first, it will go down a little bit. But really taking the time to curl your lashes is key. Next is using an eyelash primer. It's something that I've tried in the past, and yes, it worked better. You know, some of them provided more length, some of them provided more volume, some of them prevented my mascara from smudging, but this one right here is actually meant to hold a curl. So this is called Pmel, I think, or Pmel, and it's an Essence mascara base. It says it's made in Japan. So after, you know, really making it a point to go in and curl my lashes, I apply this little guy, and this really performs. It really does hold my curl. I do notice a difference when I use this than when I don't. My eyelashes also look thicker, like, I don't know, it like makes the mascara apply a little bit thicker, a little bit darker, and it really helps my eyelashes hold a curl for the entire day. And the next tip that I have in the mascara department is actually applying my mascara a little differently. So instead of applying my mascara like this, horizontally going from base to tip, I apply it first vertically. So I just kind of do like windshield wiper motions and cover my eyelash tips first, and then I turn it horizontally and I go from base to tips like that. And then at the very end that I'm done with all of the coats of mascara, I go back into my tips again and I kind of like feather them out and start separating them at the end. I also do this with the primer itself. First I start at my tips vertically, and then I go in horizontally and I start from base to tip. And guys, I have noticed a tremendous difference in my eyelashes using like these three little techniques. Game changer, okay? I can take any mascara and make it look so much better. This next thing I talked about in my recent video about 10 things that make my life easier, but I wanted to mention it in this video because this is a beauty related video, and this really is something that I use every single time that I apply makeup. So I've mentioned in the past that blow drying your face, for me, like I really do notice a difference after I set my face. Nothing so far has worked better than blow drying my face. However, I do get lazy. It's a lot easier to have something on your vanity that you can just use. So this doesn't work as good, but the point is just having something to dry your face after you have applied your setting spray. So the more powerful that thing is, the better. I notice a difference when I do not use either a blow dryer or this, and I just let my setting spray dry on its own, than when I use these things. So this little fan right here, it has 3 settings, and it just does such a great job at drying my face after I apply my setting spray. So I don't think that it works as good as a blow dryer, but on a day-to-day, I use this and it still does a good job. So just using some kind of air to go in after you have set your face with setting spray just makes a bit of a difference. So I am not a person that uses powders throughout the day. I like to apply my makeup and that's it. I don't like to go in and do touch-ups. I don't like to really do anything. The most I'll do is reapply my lipstick, and even then, like, I barely do it. But I do notice that ever since I've been a little bit more into like glowy makeup, the whole glass skin trend and all of that, your skin can look a little oily. You know, there's a fine line between dewiness and your skin looking like you've just been sweating the entire day. I carry this little puff in my bag now. I throw it in my bag every single time that I leave the house, and all I have to do is just blot. So I get the shiniest like on top of my eyebrows, so I blot there, up here, here, and the corners of my nose. That's like the main area that I blot, and it really does help. It's a lot more sustainable than using those little blotting papers, and it works just as good. I don't have to carry a powder around. I know that not everybody can leave the house without a powder, obviously if you have oilier skin, but if you're just trying to control your T-zone a little bit, I really recommend these little puffs. This one is by Laura Mercier. I think it came with her translucent setting powder. I don't have to apply anything to the puff, but if you feel like it's not really working that well, then you can just go in and apply a little bit of powder, you know, dust off the excess and just keep it in your bag, and it'll last a very long time. So you do have to wash this, obviously. So I've told you guys in the past that I have dry lips. I usually avoid matte lipsticks or anything that's going to make my lips look dry or cakey or whatever, which is like 99% of the things I ever put on my lips. But there are times where I really fall in love with a color, you know, and the formula is a matte formula. There have been times where I've been sent products and I really like a color, but it's a matte formula, and I just know that not a lot of mattes work for me. So all I do is apply the matte lipstick, and then I go in with my balm.com over it, and I just dab it in the areas where I get like the driest, and it works very well. It doesn't look too glossy, because what a lot of people do is apply a gloss over it, and that can kind of take away from the vibe of the lipstick. So this next little tip is nothing new. It is just removing any mascara that you accidentally put on your eyelid with a spoolie. I've been using this for a very long time. Works a lot better than using a Q-tip, but there is a difference when you use different spoolies. I have used a lot of different spoolies, and none of them have worked better than this one. So this one is from M Cosmetics. This is the eyebrow pencil that I use, but the spoolie that comes behind this is the best one that I've ever used to remove any mascara that I accidentally put on my eyelids. So I think it's because it's very like, it's a short bristle spoolie, but the bristles are very soft. So the reason I prefer this is because yes, I can take off whatever I put on my eyelid with another spoolie, with any spoolie, but I'm not tugging at my eye as much, and it's softer, a lot more gentle. I'm preserving the youth on my eyelids, which is all I want. You know, you do not want to be tugging at your eyes. You do not want to be scratching your eyelids. So this next little tip is also nothing new, but I still wanted to include it. It is just using the back end of my beauty sponge. This is the one from Real Techniques. It's my favorite beauty sponge. And I just use this when I'm done applying everything. When I'm done applying my setting spray, I use it sometimes to blend out my bronzer if I don't like how it looks before applying setting spray, but I still go in at the very end after applying the setting spray and everything, and I just blend everything out. So we all apply our setting sprays thinking, you know, yes, it's going to remove that look of like a cake face, but it's only gonna do so much. You know, you are applying it to your face and it's gonna stay wherever you applied it. But if you use something like this, after you apply your setting spray, you're moving your setting spray around and you're really blending things in. You do have to be a little bit more careful if you do start off with powders. I use a lot of liquids on my face lately, so it's a lot easier to blend. But if you are starting off with powders and then you go in with a lot of setting spray, you can still use a sponge to kind of blend everything in. I've done it before, but you have to be a tiny bit more careful because the powders are not as forgiving as liquids. But it still works in my opinion. And finally, the last little tip is this little guy right here. And I've talked about it before, but I wanted to include it in this video because again, this video is dedicated to beauty and I kind of wanted to put everything in one place. It's the Curl Keeper Original Total Control for Frizzy Hair. I don't know how good of an example I am right now because my hair's still a little damp. My hair doesn't look its best right now, but I promise you guys that this stuff performs the best out of anything that I've tried for the climate that I live in. I live in a very humid and a very hot climate. It's raining here all the time as well, you know, during these months, and nothing performs better than this. I show you guys how I apply in my most recent hair routine, my natural hair routine. This is something that is targeted for natural hair, textured hair. I don't know how well this would perform in straight hair. I wouldn't recommend it if you have straight hair, but if you have wavy or any texture in your hair, it really does provide the best frizz control out of anything that I've tried so far. So that is everything for this video. Those are currently all of the little techniques or products that I've been using lately. All of these things have just set a new standard for me. I compare everything to the way that my hair looks after using these products. I compare everything to the way that my makeup looks after using these techniques or these products. So they've really set the bar high for everything, and I really recommend that you guys try them out if they are something that can work for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.